The Wickliffe girls get a match winner with 140 to go in extra time from senior Joelle Banks and record a 4-3 victory over visiting Wellington on Thursday night in a Division III sectional final. It was obviously a cold one out there. I got my hot chocolate right here. Lord knows we all need something warm after being out there for nearly 3 hours with it being about 45 degrees outside. Shows how smart we are, I guess. But let's talk about the positives from the Blue Devils' point of view as far as the way the match played out. I like the tenacity in extra time. Obviously, it's a tough situation for them in a match situation standpoint. Being up 3-1 at halftime, relinquishing that lead, and having to go to extra time. And I really think in this moment, that experience of going to extra time a year ago at Kirtland in a district semifinal that paid dividends here in this moment for the Blue Devils. Going through that process, understanding what it takes. Obviously, last year, Kirtland went all the way to the D3 state final. So being able to know what that's all about and know what that moment can be all about, I think was big for Wickliffe. They didn't get overly rattled when they easily could have been in that situation, and they were able to eventually scratch out a winner there in extra time. There was a lot that was not great, to be completely honest, but like I said, the tenacity and extra time. The match winner from Banks was a quality finish there, a nice lefty finish near post. I checked with her after the match. Good news, she's okay. It looked like I was like, oh my God, she had a knee injury getting the match winner there. But thankfully, the reason I can laugh about it is because it was only a cramp, and she felt like she could sit there in the moment after netting the match winner. But big moment there for the senior. Stepping up and being able to send Wickliffe to the district level for only the second time in program history. Good for her to be able to deliver that moment. And like I said, the fight back from this side is definitely something to build on as they go into district semifinal coming up on Monday. As far as the negatives, there's a lot going on there. It was not Wickliffe's best match of the year in the attack, to be sure. I think in that opening 40, the Dukes were playing in a high offside trap, and I think with the way that Wickliffe was operating with their midfield service, it was kind of slowing down their options and minimizing their options because they were playing right into the offside trap with their service. Their runs were okay. The ball winning was okay. But for me, the flow in the attack could have been a little bit better. The intent with the service from midfield could have been a little bit better. And then in the second half, they really could not attack particularly well. Wellington, to its utmost credit, was the much better attacking side in the second half, no question about it, fighting back from down 3-1 to make it a 3-3 match. Defensive third play, I'm all for keeping and sticking to your principles with your defensive third shape. But my issue with Wickliffe was, especially in the opening 40, they were really having a tough time with overlaps and switches, especially out wide right. I think their back line was pinching in just a little too much in the natural flow of attack, and it was creating opportunities for Wellington to get service out wide right with their right mid and their girls out on the right flank, playing almost to the touchline, or basically playing right on the touchline. I think an adjustment needed to be made there. Eventually, Wickliffe made it, but you got to do a little bit better with adhering to your defensive shape, but also allowing for situations like that where if somebody really goes out wide, you got to pick that up. And Wickliffe was not doing a great job of that for large stretches of this match. And obviously in the second half, they had to really hang in there in the defensive third because Wellington, with how good they were with their combination play and using those overlaps and switches well and maximizing set pieces, they may very well could have grabbed a winner there in regulation, and they had a couple decent chances in extra time. But to Wickliffe's credit, they were able to see it out. Kaylee L'Oreal had a couple nice saves there in extra time, and Wickliffe was able to move on. So Yeah, it wasn't the greatest match Wickliffe has ever had. Absolutely not. But there were moments there where it looked pretty good. Gianna Ronaldo is such a solid playmaker for them in midfield, a workhorse there. I thought she had a pretty decent match. The strikers up top were getting unlatched here from time to time and getting onto that service. But it could have been better all the way around. But you know what? To a large extent, that gets canceled out when you get an extra time match winner. They're able to move on to next week. That's what matters. There's stuff to work on, but they're able to go out on the training ground and work on it, and that's the most important thing after a 4-3 extra time victory over Wellington on Thursday.